What's up, guys? It's Salvajee, so we're back at it again with another Salvajee reviews. We're talking Infinity War on this one. Let's get started. So this section of the review is gonna be non-spoilers, and then I'm gonna get into some spoilers, into a lot of spoilers actually. But so far I'm not gonna mention any spoilers, so don't worry. I'm just gonna be talking about the general things of the movie also, and I don't really want to drop any hints. Okay, I am going to talk about some of the superheroes that appear in this Avengers film. So, I mean, I feel like it's kind of obvious who is going to appear on this film. So, let's just get right into it, okay? So far, when it comes down to all of the action scenes, I really liked them. I thought they were, very entertaining, very well executed. And throughout the movie, in my opinion, there were like two holy shit type action sequences that of course I'm going to talk about when I get into the spoilers. When it comes down to the plot and the story and basically the pacing of the film, I actually liked it as well. It was pretty good. It was 2 hours and 30 minutes, which is kind of pretty long for a movie, but honestly it didn't even feel but like 2 hours and 30 minutes. And by the time I got to the ending, which I'll get into later, I actually didn't even think that I've spent 2 hours and 30 minutes of my life. Overall, I just like the movie in general, and if you are a fan of the Marvel movies, if you're a fan of the Avengers, you gotta watch this. That's all I gotta say when it comes down to the non-spoiler review of the section. Now we're gonna talk spoilers. Alright, again, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! I'm sorry that I got loud. It's just that sometimes people don't get it when you're gonna talk spoilers, and then they go into their comment section and shit like, dude, why are you talking spoilers? Listen, kid, I've been saying spoiler alert for the past 30 seconds. Alright, so I'm saying I'm gonna get into spoilers now. Do you understand? Alright, I'm sorry guys, the internet, some people in it are pretty slow. Okay, so let's talk about those two action scenes that there were like oh shit moments that I just fucking loved. Alright, so my first action scene where it was like an oh shit moment and I was like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome, it's when Captain America first showed up to save Vision and Scarlet Witch. I thought that scene was insane. Alright, I thought that was pretty cool. I haven't seen Cap in a while when it comes down to an Avengers type film, obviously since Age of Ultron, but yeah, like that's one of the scenes that I love the most. However, it isn't the best scene, it's one of the best scenes that I love the most, because the scene that I love the most throughout this entire fucking movie is when the Battle of Wakanda was going down and everyone was getting their asses beat, and then out of fucking nowhere, Thor just shows up. Bam, bitch! He just fucking appears, fucks everybody up with his fucking hammer, just like in one of his previous movies. I don't really remember though, because I'm not a huge Thor fan, but anyways, the point is, alright, the dude just fucked everybody up. And when Thor did that, I got a little excited and I was like, woo! And then the entire movie theater, they just started clapping like, woo, yeah! Yeah, that was one of, like, hands down, one of the best scenes of this entire movie, dude. It was super awesome. Because the rest of the movie was pretty much a disappointment for me. I know, right? It's super crazy, but honestly, it just was. So, if you're like me, alright, you're like a huge fan of the Avengers and all that stuff, maybe you just didn't want to go into the movie without spoilers. I went into the movie just knowing that it's about Thanos and his quest to getting the Infinity Stones. But, I didn't know that there was going to be an Infinity War Part 2. Like, at first I thought, oh, there's going to be a Part 1 and then there's going to be a Part 2. But since they called this movie Avengers Infinity War, I didn't know that there was going to be a Part 2. So, the point is, the ending of this movie really disappointed me. And the reason why it disappointed me is because, like, all of the action sequence, all of the, crazy planning, all of the great moments that went into this film when it comes down to the Avengers was, like, honestly didn't even matter, when we got to the end of the movie. Because Thanos killed, like, 50% of, like, the entire universe, and they couldn't do shit. I was telling my friend Javier, because he's usually the one that I watch all of these Marvel movies with, since we're both fans of superhero movies, and we've been watching movies together literally since middle school. But anyways, the point is, I told my friend Javier, this movie shouldn't have been called Avengers Infinity War. It should just be called Thanos kills everyone and destroys everyone, and Thanos dominates. Because that's literally what this movie was. Now, of course, the directors did say that this was Thanos' movie and on his quest to getting the Infinity Stones, and you know that this movie is all about Thanos. I just thought that they were going to sort of end the Infinity War type thingy in this movie, but I was wrong. And it's not even the director's fault, it's just my own fault for not being educated enough on the movie. But again, I just didn't want to risk any spoilers, because if I knew that this movie was about Thanos when I was going into it, then I knew Thanos was going to complete his quest on getting all Infinity Stones and just, you know, destroying everyone and 50% of everyone in the entire galaxy, right? Because I do have some general knowledge of the comics. So that's why, you know, I didn't want to know much about the movie, because, like, you know, after I got out of the movie, I started watching some videos from, you know, other content creators. And that's when I found out that the director said that this was going to be Thanos' movie. But again, you know, if I would have known that when I was walking into the movie, I would have known that Thanos was going to get all the stones. And the funny thing is, you know, one scene that I just did not like about the movie is when Scarlet Witch is destroying Vision's Infinity Stone. And the reason why I didn't like that scene is because, yo, there were like 2 people sitting next to me, and they were like, oh my god, yes, yes. I was like, these guys have no idea what the time stone does. Like, when I saw that, I was like, okay, you're gonna destroy the Infinity Stone that Vision has, Scarlet Witch, but guess what? He's just going to rebuild it because he has the time stone. On top of all that, he also has 4 other more stones that can... By the way, that's also another critique that I have about the movie. But anyways, the point is, let's finish off my Scarlet Witch thingy. Yeah, you know, he had the time stone. So basically that scene kind of like pissed me off, because I was like, well, that's not even gonna matter. Like, Thanos won. Like, by the time I got to that part, I was like, Thanos won. Alright, like, what else are they going to do? The guy has 6 Infinity Stones in his gauntlet, and he's literally nearly undefeatable. On top of all that, it doesn't help that Tony Stark is on Titan, and Doctor Strange is dead. How is Tony Stark going to get back to Earth, dude? Like, are they going to, like, time travel or, like, travel, like, to where Tony Stark is? Okay, so, another thing that I didn't like about this movie is the Infinity Stones and the Infinity Gauntlet. Okay, so, there was one scene in the entire movie, well, 2 scenes. There were 2 scenes in the entire movie where Thanos was fighting and he was using the power of the gauntlet, and I was like, holy shit. That's like some straight up power right there. Like, that's the power that these guys are afraid of. The first scene, well, let's talk about the second scene. The second scene is when Thanos has 5 stones and he's going over to get Vision. Like, literally the Avengers just can't do shit against Thanos. Like, he's just outplaying everyone that basically comes his way. Okay? And the second scene where I was like, holy shit, yes, that's what I want to see. You know, I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that action. Was when he was fighting on Titan, and he literally uses the gauntlet to pull off a Shattered Heaven, aka Madara's Jutsu. He literally stole that move from Madara's Jutsu, by the way. Like, I guess Thanos watches Naruto and he knows who Madara is, and he's a huge fan of Madara. Okay? Anyways, Thanos gets his freaking gauntlet in the air, freaking gets a moon or whatever that was, you know, above Titan, and then he just freaking brings it down. Yo, that scene, badass. I was like, yes, I want to see more of that. You know, I want to see more scenes like that where he's literally using the power of the Infinity Gauntlet to the fullest extent. Because throughout the movie, I felt like he was using the Infinity Gauntlet, but, you know, the powers weren't super crazily overpowered. Like, when he had 3 stones, you know, he was really powerful when he had 3 stones, right? But yet, like, they didn't really showcase him doing, like, a ton of crazy shit. The Soul Stone was also very, very easy to gather, so we didn't really get a fight for that, and I guess, you know, that's kind of disappointing, but I guess I know the reason why they did it. So now let's talk about deaths. Coming into this movie, I told my friend Javier, I was like, dude, I want at least 3 people to die. Like, 3 people that I actually care about. And, Loki died. And, I'm really glad that that happened. I fucking hated that dude. He finally got what was coming on him. I'm sorry. I know he's Thor's brother and all that shit, but... And he's the god of mischief, and he's supposed to waste my time, and I'm supposed to not like him. But I really do hope that in Avengers 4, or, you know, when they get the Infinity Gauntlet or whatever the fuck, I just really hope that, you know, that Loki just doesn't come back, dude. I don't want him anymore. Like, I don't want to see him anymore. Alright. Gamora also died. So that was a pretty crazy death. Honestly, it wasn't emotional to me. Maybe some people found it emotional. But yeah, you know, I feel like the Gamora scene, in my opinion, was kind of underwhelming. And the reason for that is because, you know, there really wasn't any battle of any sort or something like that. And it was sort of like more of a, like an emotional moment. But I don't know, like, honestly, I just didn't really care. Look, I just didn't really care much about Gamora. I've seen, you know, all of the Guardians of the Galaxies thingies, you know, 1 and 2. But yeah, honestly, I just never really cared much about her. So, you know, her death, I definitely felt it, but I was like, shit, man, like, whatever, you know, it doesn't even matter. After Thanos got the Soul Stone, guys, I was like, that's it. Like, you know, I was coming into this movie and I was just thinking of ways that they could just destroy Thanos. They could outplay him, they could outsmart him, they could outmaneuver him. And every time he would get like a 1-up on the Avengers, I would always just come up with, you know, I would start thinking of solutions, you know, maybe things that they could do, right? But when he got the Soul Stone, I was like, that's it, like, it's over. Like, I don't really think they can do anything. And then he got the Time Stone. By the time he got the Time Stone, I was like, yeah, it's game over. Like, there's literally nothing that can happen in this movie. One of the things that I also enjoyed about the movie was Thanos' lieutenants. While they weren't as crazily OP as I thought they were going to be, they were pretty cool, and they were, I guess you could say, kind of like an interesting filler, I guess you could say. But anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. I know what some of you guys might be thinking, you know, Salvajee, you know, did you hate this movie? Honestly, I didn't hate the movie. I enjoyed the movie a lot. I would definitely watch it again. Specifically since now I know that this movie is about Thanos and his quest and all that stuff. But honestly, you know, this movie is kind of like, I'm okay, but I'm not okay with this, you know, result type of thing, you know what I mean? Like, I like the movie, I like the point of the movie, I just don't really like how it just ended. Honestly, I felt like I wasted like 2 hours and 30 minutes of my time, because if I would have known that there was going to be a part 2, which again, that's just my fault, that's not the movie's fault. If I would have known there was a part 2, I wouldn't have rushed to see this movie, because that would have probably meant that I would have realized, oh yeah, Thanos is probably just gonna win. Anyways, some extra notes, some extra details, some extra things that I want to point out. You know, some of the deaths that happened, you know, when he snapped his fingers and all that stuff. Spider-Man was probably the most impactful one after Black Panther. I'm really glad Black Panther's gone. Who else? Yeah, Doctor Strange. I have no idea, dude. I have no idea. All right. How Tony Stark is going to, I guess Star-Lord. Oh yeah, that's right, Star-Lord has a ship. Yeah, that's right, they're just gonna use Star-Lord's ship unless it got destroyed. But yeah, that's pretty much it. When it comes down to the suits, when it comes down to the new upgrades, I really liked it. Oh, and last but not least, we gotta talk about Thor. I really liked this whole quest that Thor went on, and at the end of the day, it was for nothing. Look, one of the things that makes me unhappy about this movie the most is the fact that I have to wait 1 more year to see it end, and I don't like that. Alright, I would have at least liked if the movie would have ended with a cliffhanger of how they're going to sort of make a comeback. Okay? But yeah, Captain Marvel, I can't wait to see how she comes into play. I can't wait to see how they're going to change all of this mess and bring everybody back to life. And I hope it has nothing to do with Nebula, because I also just didn't like that character. Anyways, those are my thoughts on Avengers Infinity War, guys. I really like the movie in general. It's one of the first superhero movies where I watch them and I just have mixed emotions. But at the same time, you know, the thing about being old is that you always know the good guys are going to win. But in this movie, the good guys did not win. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for my Avengers Infinity War review. I'm just going to point out for like the 6th time, I really like this movie. It's just that there were just some things that really shocked me about this movie, honestly. I can't wait for Captain Marvel. I'm really excited about the Captain Marvel movie. And my next movie review is probably going to be Deadpool. So I'll be on the lookout for it. And by the way, I'm sorry that I had this gameplay in the background. This is basically just me practicing my Dragon Blade with Genji. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it.